Have you ever stood in a massive stadium and literally felt the roar of a marching band vibrating right through your chest? Well, that massive, unified sound you're feeling? It's actually a masterclass in trigonometry. Every single note traveling through the air is a wave. And when hundreds of instruments play at exactly the same time, those waves collide and combine in really fascinating ways.
Let's think about the UCLA marching band playing the musical note A. To our ears, it just sounds like this giant, glorious wall of sound. But mathematically speaking, that sound travels as waves that are actually pure trigonometric functions interacting right there in the air. When these distinct wave functions hit each other, they don't just sit side by side. No, they physically merge together.
And this physical merging is what we call sound wave interference. In the math world, this happens when trig functions, which represent those different sound waves, are either multiplied or added together to form entirely new complex expressions. So to really understand everyday things like music or room acoustics, we've got to learn the math behind manipulating these combined waves.
Which is exactly what we're tackling today. By the end of this explainer, you're going to completely understand the core concepts behind sum and product wave combinations. You'll know the specific formulas that drive them, and most importantly, you'll see exactly how to apply them to solve real mathematical problems.
Okay, let's dive right into this, turning products into sums. Our first major tool here is learning how to take the multiplication of waves, our products, and turn them into the addition of waves, our sums. Now, in trigonometry, we don't want to just blindly memorize formulas, right? We want to build them, kind of like Lego blocks. So let's derive the product to sum formula for cosine together. We'll start with the basic sum and difference identities for cosine, the ones you already know. Next, we literally just add those two equations together straight down, top to bottom. And if you look closely, notice how the positive and negative sign terms just naturally cancel each other out entirely. It's so clean. Finally, we just divide by 2 to isolate our product, which is cosine alpha times cosine beta. And just like that, we've built a bridge. We've gone from multiplication on the left side to addition on the right side.
And you know what? Using that exact same logic, we can build the entire set of formulas. Here are the 4 complete product to sum formulas. You can really see how multiplying cosines, sines, or even a mix of both translates directly into the addition or subtraction of waves. Actually, here's a super helpful trick to remember this. Notice that whenever we mix a sine and a cosine together on that left product side, we end up with sines on the right. But when we keep the functions the same on the left, like cosines times cosine or sine times sine, we get cosines on the right. Pretty neat shortcut, right?
Now, I know exactly what happens when you see a big table of math formulas. You're probably thinking, wait, how do I actually apply this formula to a real problem? It looks super intimidating at first, I get it, but it's honestly just a matter of matching up puzzle pieces. Let's walk through an actual example together, so you can see what I mean. Here's our first example straight from the text. We need to evaluate 2 times the cosine of 7x over 2 times the cosine of 3x over 2. First step, we recognize that we're multiplying 2 cosines, right? So we just pull up that product to sum formula we literally just derived. Then we substitute our angles. Alpha becomes 7x over 2, and beta becomes 3x over 2. Now we just do the basic arithmetic inside those parentheses. Adding the fractions gives us 10x over 2, which simplifies to 5x. Subtracting them gives 4x over 2, which is just 2x. And look at this. Notice how the leading 2 in our original problem and the 1/2 from the formula cancel each other out perfectly. That leaves us with this beautiful, simplified sum, cosine of 2x plus cosine of 5x.
All right, let's do a quick retention check here. Think back to when we built our very first formula a few minutes ago. Remember, we added the starting equations together. What do you think happens if we subtract the cosine sum and difference formulas instead? Think about it for a second. Well, subtraction causes the cosine terms to cancel out entirely, leaving only the sine terms behind. And that gives us the formula for sine times sine. It is all just so beautifully interconnected.
Reversing it, sum to product. Now that we've got a solid handle on transforming products into sums, let's flip the script and look at the reverse process, turning sums into products. You can think of this kind of like reverse engineering a car engine. We already have the product to sum formulas in our toolkit. To run them backward, we really just need a clever algebraic substitution. By swapping out our alpha and beta angles with new variable expressions, specifically let's set u equal to alpha plus beta and v equal to alpha minus beta, we algebraically unlock a whole new set of tools. And the best part is, we didn't even have to invent any brand new math to do it.
And here is that complete set of reverse tools, the 4 sum to product formulas.
We use these whenever we have two waves being added or subtracted, and we need to compress them back into a single, tightly multiplied expression. If you look closely at the patterns here, notice how we are always taking the average of the two angles by adding them and dividing by 2, and half the difference of the angles right inside the new product functions. It's a really consistent pattern once you spot it.
And right about now, I can practically hear you asking, okay, but can we see a real problem using one of these? Absolutely. Let's see exactly how we can compress a really messy difference of signs down into a nice tight product.
Check out this example. We want to convert the sine of 4 theta minus the sine of 2 theta. To kick things off, we write down the difference of signs formula straight from our table. Next, we substitute our values, making alpha 4 theta and beta 2 theta. Finally, let's just simplify the fractions in the parentheses. So 4 theta minus 2 theta divided by 2, that just becomes a single theta. And 4 theta plus 2 theta divided by 2 becomes 3 theta. That makes our final answer exactly 2 sine theta cosine 3 theta. We literally just compressed a clunky subtraction problem into a super neat multiplication.
But wait, this is super important. Before we move into the hardest part of the explainer, I have to highlight a classic trap. Did you happen to notice the leading negative sign in the formula for cosine minus cosine? It starts with a -2, not a +2 like all the others. Honestly, forgetting that negative sign is probably one of the absolute most common mistakes students make. Always double-check your signs on that specific formula, okay?
Proving a trigonometric identity. So you might be wondering, why do we even need all this switching between sums and products in the first place? Well, the real power of these formulas reveals itself when we have to prove complex trigonometric identities. Let's make this abstract idea a lot easier with a concrete example. But first, a quick reminder of the golden rule of verifying identities. Always pick the more complicated side of the equation to work on first, and then make formula substitutions until it perfectly matches the simpler side. Remember, you do not solve this like a regular algebra equation by moving things across the equal sign. Instead, you're basically massaging one side until it morphs into the other.
Let's look at this complex proof. We need to prove that this massive, scary-looking fraction on the left equals negative tangent t. And this brilliantly illustrates our formulas in action. To start, we just apply our new formulas. The numerator is a difference of cosines, and the denominator is a sum of sines. So we convert both of them into products. And suddenly, as if by magic, we see a massive common term. 2 sine of 3t appears on the top and the bottom. Because everything is multiplying now, we can just cancel them right out. Poof, gone. So what are we left with? Just negative sine t over cosine t. And by our basic quotient identity, we know that is exactly equal to negative tangent t. Boom. Proof complete. Those incredibly messy sums compress beautifully into products that just easily canceled out.
Final review and takeaway. Okay, before we wrap up, let's quickly summarize the key points we've covered in today's explainer.
First, we saw that real-world phenomena like the combining sound waves of a marching band map perfectly to trigonometric math. Second, we learned how to turn products into sums by simply adding our foundational sine and cosine identities together. Third, we reversed that entire process, turning sums back into products using a really clever algebraic substitution. And finally, we just proved that these tools are absolutely essential for simplifying complex fractions and proving big trigonometric identities.
So the main takeaway here is that you now have the tools to manipulate complex wave functions in literally any direction you need, whether you're expanding them out or compressing them down. Next up in our explainer series, we're going to take these skills to the ultimate test, solving trigonometric equations. Are you ready to actually solve for x? Take a moment, review these formulas, practice